TribLIVE Radio presents Pirates manager Clint Hurdle, appearing throughout the season with Ken Laird and Guy Junker.
El Toro strikes in the 19th.
The best Pirates talk is right here. Trib Total Media. See what's next. The Clint Hurdle Show on TribLIVE Radio is brought to you by White Deer Run, Cove Prep of State College. Brought to you by Century 3 Chevrolet. We can make it happen.
Debut is always a special thing in baseball. Last night, the Gregory Polanco debut, Guy, and our next guest had a memorable debut of his own when he was a ball player. 2-run home run in his second at bat off Glenn Abbott. How about that at Kauffman Stadium? Clint, do you remember that at bat?
I do, and I actually can go pull out the 8-track that I've got it taped on in black and white and check it out.
Glenn Abbott. I remember Glenn Abbott.
Yeah, Glenn Abbott was a very blue-collar major league pitcher, gave you innings. Actually, I had the good fortune of working with him in the Mets organization after we were both done playing. Just a good old boy. Surreal situation. My first at bat. Everybody said, just take a pitch, relax, take a pitch, see one pitch, and okay. And I got in, and Abbott threw one, and it was like right down the middle. And I go, I got to take, and I check swung. And I hit a ball right off the barrel, one soft one-hopper to third. And I hit it to a guy named Billy Stein, who had grown up in Rockledge, Florida, 10 miles away from where I grew up, and was thrown out by, 30 feet. My first attempt at getting a hit was a check swing, so I was kind of embarrassed. I got all kinds of noise in the dugout when I returned. And the second at that ended up a little differently, as you said. So might have been the longest home run I ever hit, and my career was downhill from that point on.
Well, for those of us that didn't get to play at that level, Clint, to me, the biggest thing that I'll remember about last night's game was him flying around the bases on McCutcheon's home run like he was running in the Olympics. There was an innocence of youth there that I loved watching.
Yeah, he's going to have that. You're going to see that. You're going to see that speed show up, the great, the distance that he can cover with a stride. It's another player I've had that I can remember, a guy that can get down the line in about 8 strides is Larry Walker. And Polanco has those long strides. He moves very quickly, very good speed. The great smile, the swing's pretty. It's going to be, it was very good, very fun watching him out in right field last night and taking his turn at the plate.
A couple of the scouts at the ballpark last night, Clint, were saying, and they're watching him in the minors, they really couldn't find many holes in his swing. They were having a tough time finding out a book on ways to attack him. How do you think Major League pitching will adjust to him? I guess everybody's got a hole of some kind, right?
Yes. The funny thing about this game is I can remember the first month of the season when all the experts were ripping up Miguel Cabrera. He was done. He didn't have any homers, power, this and that, off season. And you look where he is now. Pujols was done 2 years ago. I can remember when Dante Bichetta had him in college. He was done. The game continues to reinvent itself in some areas. Pitchers will find holes. It's constant counterpunching. Polanco is going to be challenged in the fact that he's probably going to see more off-speed stuff in offensive counts than he might have in the minor leagues. Pitchers here have command of multiple pitches, not just one. And the command is usually closer to the plate. Sometimes you have a circular net they're throwing into in the minor leagues, and this is more of a square box. The same token, I've seen many players and heard of players that actually have the opportunity to hit better when they come up here because more strikes are thrown to them. Time will tell how it plays out. We'll see how they attack him. I'm just looking forward to penciling that name in the lineup and letting him go out there and play, man. It's going to be fun to watch.
Well, maybe you'll know more about Frankie Liriano later today, Clint, but the question I had for you is, when you have already Neil Walker on the DL and Cole's on the DL, and now you got another guy that maybe goes on there, injuries are a part of the game. When they all pile up at one time like that, is the bigger challenge not the physical replacement of those guys in the lineup, but do you have to get to a point where, as the manager, the team starts thinking, geez, another guy goes down? Is there a mental aspect to it that you got to try to keep everybody's heads above water?
To some degree, we feel that we've put together a very mentally strong club, a very physically disciplined team. Last year, I think we had, what was it, 9 pitchers have more than 5 starts. We do believe in the next man up opportunity. It is what it is. Nobody feels sorry for you. So any time you spend on negativity, you're wasting your own time. You need to focus on what you have, not what you don't have, what you need to do, how you can improve. We don't look to just hold on. We want to get better. We want to get closer to the top. We want to win ball games. So I just think the constant team and message that we've had the 4 years plays for us and the guys. We feel bad for every guy that goes down, you know. And the fact of the matter is we encourage them to work hard to get back. At the same time, we've got games to play. The season doesn't stop.
Do you have a couple of guys in mind, Clint, if you need to fill in for Liriano for a start or two?
Yeah, we do.
And I'm sure that will be something that's revealed later in the week.
Well, it's strange, but I do prefer to talk to the people involved rather than I share with the media.
Yeah, understood.
I've just always been that way, and we do have a couple names in mind, and we'll get to those people and let them know accordingly.
Starting Marte, I was talking with Ken the other day when we were discussing him in the middle of the time that he was sitting out, and I said, there's when he came back with the 3-hit performance, I said it looks like they did that perfectly. If you sit a guy too long, maybe he gets rusty. If you sit him just long enough to watch and maybe recharge. Last night, kind of a mixed bag. He hustles out a couple of hits. I don't know if you consider those base running mistakes. What do you tell a guy? What's a guy supposed to do, Clint, when he's stealing a base and the batter swings? Is he supposed to be looking at the batter, or where was the mistake made there?
Well, some pure base runners don't look at it. They feel it takes away from the opportunity to steal the base. Marte pretty much is a base steal. He doesn't look in, but the reaction, the ball off the bat, the noise, you've got to have some awareness. What I saw was a guy flat out had the bag stolen. We swing, we pop it up. He got deked at the base because they acted like a throw came, which is a big league play. So he slides and goes in. Then he turns around and loses the ball. Now, I believe the video I watched, I had coaches pointing up in the air. Whether he didn't see him when he looked or that whole symmetry didn't pan out, and while he was looking at him, the hand was in the air, I don't know. But we've always encouraged our guys, if you don't get a coach, look at the players. The players are going to tell you where the ball is. So the delay there and get it back, it hurt us. The other play, looking at the video, what I saw with my eyes was a guy who took a very aggressive secondary lead, ball back to the mound. He took one step in case it beats him, and then the pitcher made a very athletic play. You've got a young player that is still unbridled in some areas. What makes you laugh can make you cry. I got people whining about the bat, and then they're whining about the base running. We're going to continue to work hard with this guy to get him to play the best baseball he can. Young players sometimes learn lessons the hard way. He's had to learn some the hard way. I'm very, very encouraged by the way he's gotten back in the batter's box, the way he is running the bases, and the way he's playing the outfield since he's been plugged back in the lineup.
Pirates manager Clint Hurdle, just another few minutes with us here on Ken and Guy. Rewinding back to Sunday's game, Clint, there was that sequence with Russell Martin at the plate, and you came out, obviously, to defend him. I was wondering how many times do you come out and you kind of know you're going to need to get run? And was that one of those times coming out of the dugout?
It's not even a fact I need to know that I need to get run. You're going out there, and I'm just telling you, you're not getting away with this. There's no walk away here for me. You've made a call. You're going to live with it. We're going to watch it on replay over and over. I'm sure it's going to be played everywhere Sunday on every sports center and every TV model. So this is what it is. There's just times when, and of course he didn't miss the call. He looks at me in the eyes, he didn't miss the call. So, I'm sorry it doesn't work. I'm not going to go away. I think you need to also let the team and the fans know you feel like there's been a violation involved. That's part of the game. But also putting the manager in timeout is part of the game, and that's the manager's responsibility. There's times you got to go there.
There was an incident last night, Clint, where there was nobody covering first, and you went out to argue a balk call, and the umpires then got together, discussed it, and the call went in your favor. And I'm watching that, and I'm thinking, I don't know that a year ago that even happens. Is that a product of are they more willing to discuss things now because of replay? It seems like it's more of a group decision than it used to be.
Yes, absolutely. They want to get it right. At the end of the day, these guys want to get the calls right. I have conversations with people in the community that don't they hate it? It shows that they missed calls, and no, they don't. I mean, the opportunity to show they missed a call is there anyway. And if an umpire misses a call, Lord knows that the media markers are going to take care of showing them missing the call. Now they've got an opportunity to review, to talk, or replay to get the call right. At the end of the day, that's what we all are striving for and looking for. So, last night they made the right call. If you don't, you share that, we're going to get on TV. That guy's going to throw that ball. And they're going to go, how's the ball not called there? Where's the intent at first base? It's not just a lousy throw to first base. It's an absolute misfire trip off the mound. So they got it right.
Well, Clint, last thing for you. Polanco was discovered by Rene Gallo, your Latin American scouting director. I was wondering if you and Rene have any relationship. Do you spend time with any of those guys in the offseason? And is he down there mining talent like week by week?
Ray is actively engaged in much more than just our Latin American market. When we go and play the Astros in the past, show up, I see him instructionally. I traveled down to the Dominican in the offseason to see him in spring training. We've had a relationship for 4 years. He's got a great lens, great perspective. He sells out to these players that he signs and their families. He's more than just a scout. He's a mentor. He can be a father figure when they're here. He's done a fantastic job for us. A very passionate man, I'm very lucky to call friend.
Last one from me, Clint. You got to go out and talk to Franklin Regional's graduating class last week. Describe that experience and how much of an honor was that for you?
Very humbling, huge honor. When they reached out, it was, I had to pause because I go, wow, this has significance. They'll be the class of seniors that it happened, where we had the tragedy, the incident. The stabbings. So to sit back and reflect back 15 years ago when I was in Colorado, and we had even a multiplied tragedy in Columbine, I tried to revisit some of the thoughts, the emotions, how the city, the region dealt with the initial shock, dealing with the casualties. Then the patchworking of the community back together, the individual families back together, the reach out, the emotions, the gauntlet of emotions, and then share with these young people encouragement, hope, based on what they've just been through. They've already been fire tested at an extreme level that not many are at that point in time in their lives. And how proud I am of them, how proud I am of them moving forward, the great things they're going to be able to do, the difference they're going to be making in the lives of others. They pull courage, awareness, self-sacrifice, selfishness from this, selflessness from this incident. So just an awesome night to go there and just love on some people and encourage them.